Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Hope you're all having a great week. Hope things are just going well with getting back into the groove of school and all those good things. And hopefully you're excited for the countdown to Home Dad Con, which is getting
36
smaller and
days.
smaller and smaller. What is it?
36 days.
Oh,
36 days till the 17th.
That's exciting.
Now, you and I will be there early.
Yes, we will be there early.
We will be there. It'll be less than 36 days, but as the day of this recording, 36 days. And I'm just excited.
Yeah.
We've got 5 weeks and let's go. And it's going to be here before you know it. And it'll be just over and done. So you guys got to get your tickets, right, Brock?
I got my ticket. I made it official. It's on Discord. I posted it on Facebook, Instagram. Jen, she was so funny. I posted it on Discord, and Jeremy posted a picture of her with like 2 thumbs up sitting on the couch. So, yes, I got all that taken care of. So we are good. Got signed up for the 5K.
Nice, yeah.
So all that's set up as well. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've talked to the Billy, who's going to be I'm picking him up in Indianapolis, and got that all squared away as well. I actually saw where in Discord there's another guy that's coming from Indianapolis as well, but he's driving in on Wednesday. So, but it'll be exciting to meet him as well. I even actually just last night had someone reach out to me who I haven't talked to in a very long time, who's considering coming as well. So
Cool.
That's exciting. I'm going to leave that locked away just because I don't, if he listens to this, I don't want him to feel pressured or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was just exciting to be like, hey, like my social media algorithm has been putting the convention stuff like in front of me. So I figured I would reach out and just see like what's going on. And we're asking hotel questions and things like that. And I was like, yeah, like these, I was like, well, as of this recording, like the next day, on the 12th, things will be kind of closed up as far as the hotel block and the regular ticket price for Home Dad Con. So, so that's kind of the one thing I was telling him was, hey, like you're gonna need to probably decide this in the next 24 hours
on that, right? Yeah, 12th is coming fast.
Yeah, so he was sort of calculating things on what it was going to cost and if he was going to be able to do it and that kind of thing. But he definitely, you could tell from the conversation that he's needing that connection, which I'm so glad that he reached out, because like I said, it's been a minute since he and I have talked. So yeah, so that it is definitely exciting. It is coming around quickly. I keep seeing all the different posts that all the guys are putting up about what they're doing, where they're going, like when they're coming in and everything. And then also too, the beer share folks are posting all kinds of stuff. They are
doing the work.
Really doing the work. Yeah, exactly. So that's really exciting. Also, lots of really interesting things that are, I believe they're doing the online auction again too, which that's always really cool. But yeah, before we get into all that, Danny, you were talking before we kind of hit record that it's been a rough day for you, and just kind of wanted to talk with you about that.
Well, it's been a rough couple of weeks, actually. I've been right after we left DC, actually, probably the last day of our trip, I started feeling depression coming on. So it's kind of something with me too, after decades of dealing with it, you kind of, you know, it's coming and you know how to do your best to try to mitigate the worst of it. So yeah, I've been depressed for a couple of weeks now, and that's been its own problem. Um, well, yeah, today it's just been, we've got, I mean, it's just, I'm down to three kids in the house, and it seems like I'm busier, which is really weird. But just the oldest is now in high school, so his schedule is kind of the same because they would ride the same bus anyway when they go from junior high to high school. So that's not a big deal. But he has more times needed me to get him up than not. And like he missed the bus yesterday. And so I ran late on that. So I ran late to get home. My my 10-year-old, no, 11-year-old, sorry, gets up at 7 so we can leave at 7:35 to take him to his advanced math class, which he's taking every day now. So I have to take him to the school, and they do like a district wide Zoom basically for math facts. Cool. Okay. So but they usually get up at 7:25, so I have to get them up at, or my other one up at 7:25, him up at 7, and then leave at 7:35 and leave her here with her, to get her poop in a group, which she does pretty well, and then zip over to the school, which is fortunately not too far away, rush back, get back just in time to have maybe 10 minutes with her to kind of get everything going. And the dog is, something's wrong with our dog. She's hacking up yellow bile a lot, and we're taking her to the vet and see what's going on. But she threw up in several places this morning. Great. So always love cleaning up vomit. And then last night, my loving teddy bear of a now 15-year-old basically sent me a text message. I said something to him, about something that, and it's of course a long story, but and his response was kiss my ass. And
Okay.
I'm just like, okay, so he's not allowed to use adult language, but he's exposed to it all the time. It doesn't surprise me that he knows the phrase. But the main thing is just he's not allowed to talk to me that way. He's not allowed to he's not allowed to use the language at all, but he's really not allowed to do that because of how disrespectful it is. But it was a long, like I have shelves in my office now, and I paid him. I said, I'll pay you $10 a shelf for 4 shelves, but if you get them all done today, I'll give you $50. So he was on track to get them done, and he was running. I'm like, well, I'll give you a little more time for tomorrow, and I'll still pay you the 50. We're good. And he wanted a gift card so he could spend it on probably, like Roblox or something. I don't know. And I forgot to get it. And I said, I'm sorry, I'll get it tomorrow. And that was yesterday. And again, I forgot to get it. So, I mean, yesterday was just a cluster. Everything was going crazy. And he comes upstairs, and I think the real issue for him was we had someone over watching the presidential debate with us, one of Marnie's friends, and he came in and sat down and said, where, did you get my money or whatever? And I said, yeah, buddy. Yeah, I got it. It's in your room. You didn't see it. You should go look. And the friend kind of laughed and said, yeah, if you cleaned your room up, you could find it. And we were
Oh,
making a joke of it, right? Because it is a
yeah.
joke that you would make, but because he's so introverted, um, he he feels like I broke his trust.
Mm,
And he got very upset because he thinks I tricked him. And I said, look, I thought that was obvious that we were joking. You know, I didn't think, but again, he's a gifted kid. His emotional awareness isn't quite there. He's not on, he doesn't have ASD, but he's in a place where, because of his higher intelligence and all that, his emotions are just too big for him. He's got the emotions of an 11-year-old, or just about, So it just hit him wrong, and
yeah.
he got very upset. And it's not like him to talk like this, but he did.
Yeah.
And and I got mad. I got really mad. Marnie got mad, and I went downstairs to his room and I banged on his door really loud. And I don't regret that, because I think, to understand that I was very angry.
Yeah.
But I didn't yell. I didn't raise my voice. I'm sure I'm always loud, but I didn't lose my temper. I ended up pulling a bucket over and sitting down and having a conversation with him. And just like I said, my main issue is what you said to me and what it implies. It's just disrespectful. And there's nothing that I've done in your lifetime that would make you treat me like that. I feel I've earned your respect, you know? And I said, I did, I failed you. I did. I told you I'd have the money and I didn't get it. Things got out of control and, I've just got a lot going on and I didn't do it and I apologize.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give you the right to say that to me. And he said, well, I feel I was justified in it. I'm like, okay. He's like, because you tricked me. And I'm like, again, it was meant to be a joke. Wasn't trying to trick you. And, but he's very upset about it. And the problem is when when anybody has those big emotions, you're not going to change it with logic. You know, um, I'm not that good of a negotiator. So he was just mad. He didn't talk to me this morning. I don't know if he wants, because I gave him cash last night. So it's not like I didn't pay him. And I gave him $60. And I told him, look, I meant to get that and I forgot about it. And I forget things if I don't write it down. I'm on multiple medications to try to help me focus on getting my stuff done every day. And I dropped the ball and I apologize. So I gave you 60 instead of 50. And if you want, I'll go out tomorrow, meaning today, I'll go out and get a gift card for you for that amount. Or you can use my credit card right now. You can
Yeah.
go on Amazon. I said, I'm not trying to keep that money from you. It was a mistake. And he just was too mad and he didn't want anything to do with it. So yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't
The
say good
blood.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pissed, and does he have a right to be angry? Logically, no. Emotionally, yes.
I
You
can
know?
understand being angry, definitely. But
Yeah.
I think listening to, the situation, it's like, hey, like, we've taught you to use different words when expressing your anger,
Mm-hmm.
like and intellectual words, that
Mm-hmm.
don't uh demean someone in
Right.
sharing your heightened expression of emotion type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really like saying like I'm really pissed at you and I don't appreciate the way that I'm being treated
Absolutely.
is the more higher scale version of kiss my
Mm-hmm.
ass.
Right.
So,
Right.
but it's like I think in this in this world, like you said, kids are exposed to adult things, whether it's TV, movies, that kind of deal, and
Mm-hmm.
those are expressions that you would hear, or at school with kids who
Especially
you
in
know
high school.
yeah, kids who are not being taught the appropriate ways to react to situations, or just don't even have like an emotional connection, because that's the other side of it too. It's like, yes, it's disrespectful. It's even more disrespectful when you say it to somebody who uh loves you and cares for you and has a relationship with you, because saying that in a lot of ways is sort of like basically saying like, well, you're not that important to me, and it's like almost a subservient response,
Yeah.
because you're trying to put them under your thumb by saying that to them. um and so yeah, I can completely hear and understand both sides of it, definitely.
Yeah.
I think
And he
that
has a
is.
right to be angry. He does. He has a
Yeah,
right to be
yeah,
disappointed or upset or frustrated or any of those things. And yes, absolutely. And I told him that. And I said, but you don't have the
right.
right to tell me to kiss your ass. That's not appropriate. I said,
Well, and
I don't think you understand it. And I really think he doesn't understand it. I think he's overwhelmed and he's angry. He just said something. And I think a little bit of time apart, to
sure.
to let our heads cool down, I think he'll be okay. It may take a day or two. I don't know how long he'll stay mad. I
Yeah,
don't know where his temper is. It could be like mine, and he'll be mad for days, or it could be like Marnie's, and he's over it by the time he gets home from school. So,
yeah.
but
Well, we tend to talk to our kids a lot of times about like, hey, like when you're an adult, like they're gonna be this exact situation is gonna probably happen when you're an adult. The way that
yep,
you express it now, it it's better to learn the right way when you're in the,
Hmm.
now so that you can do it in the adult world and think that that's okay. So yeah, like hopefully it doesn't last very long. And, maybe there's people outside of like the inner circle, as I like to call it, who are constantly, trying to talk to him, like somebody outside that he sees as, also, I don't know how you explain that, but basically like sort of a deal where it's like, the inner circle is like your family. And then there's people
Hmm.
like just outside of the inner circle who can say the exact same thing as what
Right.
the inner circle is saying. And you're like, it just clicks. So hopefully that somebody uh, will be able to
Runs into today. And yeah.
rattle him. Yeah, a little bit. So, well, I appreciate you sharing that because I think that in parenthood, that's something that we all go through it in different
Yeah.
ways, especially as kids get older. I mean, that transition into high school is, a big step. I'm waiting for that in here with Hezekiah, transitioning into junior high and everything. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Right.
but we're also dealing with all the medical stuff right now. So I think that that's kind of like, it's like that's outweighing everything else that's going on.
Yeah. And
And
that's the thing is too, is looking at it and being able to understand when your kids are outside of their norm,
yeah,
and for whatever it is. And it could be just they're tired, it could be they're hungry, it could be so many things. It could be the medical issues, it could be hormones, you
yep,
know. And
which
as a
are a part of
parent,
the medical issues for us
right, it's
too.
part of the, you're absolutely right for you.
Oh,
And just being able to sit there and say, okay, this isn't like you. So I'm not going to do what my stepdad would do or do what my dad would do. I'm not
right.
going to jerk a knot in you,
Yeah,
and all those things that I was told as a kid. I'm sure you heard them as well. Those things where they're just like, I'm going to get violent with you, basically. And it was accepted and what have you. So I think I'm overall good with how I responded.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I definitely was not expecting it. It definitely, I mean, he's such a sweet kid. He's always been such a he was my Zen baby.
yeah,
After Fabian, who was a demon, he would come up and take me by hand with his bottle and take me to his crib and ask me to put him in bed.
yeah.
I mean, he knew he was just such a sweet child. And, you know, I
It's
know he's
have
going to
that
be an
it's
adult,
it's
you
that
know.
80-20 thing, man. I tell
Yeah.
you that that is
Yeah,
that is
exactly. Yes.
the
Yes.
the 80-20 is such a real thing. I mean, 80% of the time they're great and 20% of the time like they have issues. And I think that that is across the board all human beings. Like
Hmm.
nobody's
Absolutely.
perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
But an
Everybody
80-20
can
is
be
a
a
pretty
jerk.
yeah, an 80-20 is actually not awful. I mean, you're gonna have
Hmm.
those off days. Like you said, like he's having an off day. You've kind of been off, like you were saying, with the depression and stuff, but
Hmm.
it's how you go about it and how you respond, and also to reaching out to people and having conversations to basically kind of help you through it, or whatever your coping mechanisms are that are positive for you, are definitely good tools to help you move forward in it. So yeah. Hey,
Yep. Yep.
today, switching gears, we have another guest on. This guest is a longtime friend of the show,
A
and
repeat offender. I mean,
that's a good way to put it. I love that. Yeah, he's done breakout sessions. He's a very integral part of the beer share committee. He's sat on the scholarship committee. He's just been very active, and I've really appreciated just the friendship that he and I have had for, gosh, at least 6 years now, easily. Like we met randomly at a Dad 2.0 convention, and just basically been friends ever since. But we're going to be talking to Joe Saladino, who is going to come on and talk about the beer share and also talk about his breakout session that he's going to be doing, which anybody who's into photography, it's definitely one not to miss. And it's always a
right.
lot of fun. And I love how he's changed it up since Phoenix by not sitting in a room talking, but actually going out and physically doing photography.
Yes.
Because I think that a lot of the guys really enjoy that. So we will be right back with Joe Saladino.
Join us for the Dad's Run 5K in St. Louis 2024, benefiting the Fathers Overcoming Adversity Fund. Brand new to this year is the 1 mile Arch March. For our walkers or runners that want a short option, we got you. Participate in personal or virtually. The live event includes a 5K finisher medal, post-race food, and refreshments. Virtual participants complete their 5K the week of October 18th through the 20th, 2024, with a registration fee covering medal shipping. If you are unsure of how to train for 3.1 miles or think it too daunting, the plan Couch to 5K will get you there in 9 weeks. There's still time to start the journey. Link to this program can be found in any of the posts about the 5K on our social media platforms. Again, the date for the convention is October 17th through the 19th, 2024 in St. Louis, Missouri. In person to register for the 5K is $35. Virtual registration is $40. Sponsored by plantorun.com. To learn more, go to athomedad.org/Dads Run This House 5K.
Good to see you, Joe.
And we are back, and we have Joe Saladino with us, and he is all set up for Seahawks season, it looks like. How are you doing, man?
Brock and Danny, as I live and breathe. Y'all got daylight where you are? Because I don't yet.
Yes, we do. I've got plenty of daylight. It's
6:30. 6:30 call time.
You
know,
know,
and I told Brock we should change that just for Joe. And he was like, for that guy?
Oh, don't worry about me. But when you get the angry call from my wife because she's doing get ready for bus duty,
all the
this
stuff,
morning.
right? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
Hey,
got
man.
I got a 2-parent kid. I don't have a 1-parent kid. I got a 2-parent
Agreed.
kid.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when you get that angry email, don't be complaining to me. That's on you.
It's Brock L at
Hey,
athomedad.org.
you're such a jerk. Oh my goodness.
What was
Oh.
Tool Time on Home Improvement? Whenever he'd mess up, he'd hold up the big sign with the mail address and phone number and everything else.
Mm-hmm. This is the place to go. Send all your hate.
Definitely. Well, hey man, happy to have you on the show. We were just saying, you know,
Yeah.
you've been a long time friend of the show, and you definitely have been an intricate part of Home Dad Con and in many aspects over the years. And you're back again to present, and also you know, doing stuff with the beer share, which has been just monumental, honestly, for the scholarship fund and just everything. And I know that you're one sliver of a very big piece of pie, with many guys on that committee, and I know that you guys have all been working really hard. So definitely excited to be talking with you about just everything that you guys got coming up for the convention here this year.
Yeah, for sure. Really excited. Every year brings different positives and different challenges and different, it's a weird thing. You'd think that it'd be a lot of similarities, but there's always new stuff popping up.
That's
But
good though.
definitely, yeah, no, for sure. It's great. And what's funny to me is after every year, so like, depending on the time, if it's September or October, it happens like 2-3 weeks after, I'm like, I'm done. Like someone else take the reins. I'm like, I need a break. And then somewhere around January, February, I'm like, uh-oh, I think I'm doing this again. And then about March, it really hits. And I'm like, oh, yep, nope, fully invested, definitely doing it. Who's president today? Okay, yeah, I'll call him and let him know I'll be there.
It's indicative of all of us and how we love to give. We love to offer things to other people, take care of other people, whatever that might be. And every single one of us burns ourselves out.
Yeah.
We just
Well,
push and push and push and give and give and give, and you love it. I think you both love it from what I've seen, and I know I love it. And I just, yeah, I want to do that too. Yeah, I want to do that too. I want to do that too. And then you're done. You fall flat on your face, and you're like, oh, okay, I should have done that, but you're gonna do it again. And I
well,
think
like
that's just delightful.
like right now, you know, I'm not a stay-at-home dad anymore, full-time job, but like working from home, and now I got to figure out beer pickups in the mix of everything,
Yeah.
and it's just as it's ramping, it's like, oh right, this is how it feels again. Um, and yeah, at the end of the beer share last year, I had a long talk with JHG because he was on his way out, and
Hmm.
I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how do you leave? How do you be done? And he's like, oh, you'll know. Like, you just do it, but you'll know when it's time. And I was like, oh, it's time, it's time. And then it's like, oh, nope, not quite yet.
Yeah.
Maybe another year or two.
Yeah.
Just when they think I'm out, they pull me back in.
There you go.
JHG it out either. I'm just going to say that for anybody that's on Slack, anybody that's in the committees, anybody that looks at any of our graphics, which he does all of them
That's
still.
not
Right.
true. He doesn't do
And
all of them. We
I'm
have
sorry,
also
he
Patrick
does a
will,
majority of
yeah.
them.
Say we have
Sorry.
Patrick doing them too.
And he literally in Slack this week said, okay, wait, puts on president's hat, said something, and takes off president's hat. And I'm like, you got it, you know it, you're still in it, you just don't know how to really. Why can't I quit you, National at Home Dad Network?
I think he's the first president that's a
Careful.
former or he's like one of the first former presidents. I'm gonna say it. He's one of the first former presidents, honestly, to stick around and continue like actively doing things with the organization. I mean, I know that just from my time being there, like the presidents that I've interacted with, he's the first one that's stuck around and is still doing things. Like he's very active in Slack, with
Mhm.
everything going on from, like you said, graphics and t-shirt design and all that kind of stuff. I mean, even with like the home dad chat hats and shirts that have been produced recently, like he was very integral in helping us to get that all formatted. So yeah, but I think that, that whole transition out after a certain time is definitely an interesting it's an interesting line to walk because yeah, it is hard, especially too when you build up friends and things like that. But I think too the other side of it is like you find that passion, that thing that you get to actually like creatively like give to the organization. And even if you do phase out for like full-time work or your kids are older or whatever, if it's something that you really enjoy doing, you can find a way to make it happen. And I think that's kind of the case with you. I think that's the case with me in a lot of ways. Just, it's like, all right, yes, I got this full-time job, but and I'm still doing things with the kids, but at the same time too, like I can carve out time to do these other elements that I really get a boost of just energy from by putting it into the organization.
Well, and parenting's still hard. Like
Mhm.
there's still okay, kids in school, during the workday, awesome. Awesome. Like we're on day 3. Awesome. Don't get me wrong. But parenting's still really hard. And so to know that there's that support and then in-person support if you do the con, like
Mhm.
that that can get you through some of the doldrums
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. We
of
were just
like,
talking
no, I
about that
will see
actually
those
before you
people.
came on.
Oh, perfect. See, it's all seamless.
It's like
Yeah.
we
It's
talked
all
about it
perfect.
before, but we
Yeah.
didn't.
Okay, well,
Without you even
I won't
knowing.
say any more. I won't say
And
any
Yeah.
it's
more than that. The
a
listeners
lot of
already know.
times, too, what we're doing, like with JHE, as having been the president and what have you, and the two of y'all and the things that you do, these are passion projects. These are the things that you do because you love to do it, or you want to do it so that you can give it to other people, and let them experience. Like learning photography is an amazing thing to teach people. And I know for me, there are things that I've been looking at probably over the last year that I need to give up. I'm like, I need to move this to somebody else. I need to do this and that. Being as one of the biggest one is being the admin chair for the Facebook moderators. It's a huge job, and I need to give it up. I really do, and I've been struggling with that because it's my baby, And I look at it, I'm like, could I be not this committee chair? Can I just like leave that and walk away from it? And so far, no. And there's no reason other than my own passion for it. It's like I really like the way this is going. I like what we've done. I like where we're headed, but I don't want to give it up. I don't want to let somebody else take it over, you know, and I should just rip off the band-aid and let it happen. It won't be perfect. Things will change. But with things like that, it's such a part of your heart. You're doing it not for the money, not for the adoration or anything. It's just for the passion of it. And walking away from that is far more difficult, I think, than like say, even if you like your job, it's not the same. You're not working because you want to work. If you had $1 million, would you keep going to that job? I don't know for you guys, but I wouldn't. There's no job I would go back to that had $1 million. But would I
Mm-mm.
keep doing things? Would I keep doing things for the organization? Would Joe, would you keep teaching us about photography? I think yes. I think these are things that just motivate you and they're your passion. And that's what makes it so difficult to ever truly walk away from it because of how much joy you've given other people through the beer share, through the scholarship funds that have come through that, but
Yes.
just the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. No, the scholarship, like that's what keeps me moving in that.
Hmm.
And it's funny you say that about, running things or whatever. Like myself and sometimes Paul, because we basically started the financial side of it together, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I'm usually the face, but there's six of us, right? And because we added somebody this year, so on the committee there's six of us, and we all bust our humps in one way or another. It was just me especially the first year. It was like I have all these contacts, and I can get all the beer there, like
Yeah.
So it was this big thing, but
Right.
but it's all of us. And then this year, work's ramped up, other things at home have ramped up. So I kind of got freaked out and I told everybody, I'm like, listen, like, I'm not going to be able to bring 300 cans and bottles of beer this year, which
Right.
I didn't need to,
Right.
right? But I
A
was
Right.
lot.
overdoing it for many reasons. I was like, but God, I don't know. And then like this year, it's just been a real testament to how much everyone's involved
Yeah,
to
can
where,
I want to
yeah,
stop you real quick before you get too
yeah,
far into that because we have a lot of new attendees. We
yes,
definitely
yes,
see
yes.
on Discord everybody coming in, and I know that there's been people that have been asking like, "What is this beer share exactly?" Like, because I mean,
Let's
some
go to
people
the
have been,
beginning.
yeah,
Yeah,
and some
Right.
people have been
Right.
to a beer share locally, maybe like just with friends or
right.
whatever. This is that, but even different than that, honestly. I feel like so. I kind of wanted to give a little bit of a abbreviated history lesson or let you do that and then go
Yeah,
into what is this year gonna look like. So because I think that even for those who have participated in previous years, this year's looking a little bit different than those past years.
gotcha. Yeah. So, quick history of the beer share. Beer share for years before I got to the con was beer guys that were kind of in the know, that knew each other, that were big on beer, would get together in one of their rooms, and you would bring beer sometimes, but most times you'd bring beer with you from wherever you were coming throughout the country. Big beers, special beers, stuff that people got super nerdy on. And you'd sit in a room with like 5 to 10 of you and share beers. Um, and that was, I mean, and then you geek out, and it was a camaraderie thing, and everybody got close, and it was cool. Um, and so when I started, I got connected with a couple people, and I was like, "Oh, how about you come on by?" And so I did that for a couple of years. Um, and whoever could host it would host it. Brock and I hosted it in our room one year. And it was a nice way, at night to hang out and, get to know a few people and not be going out all the time. And, so tons of fun, but really just a basic friend sharing beer. And then Paul and I happened. So
Cincinnati happened.
Cincinnati happened. We're all coming out of COVID. We're all blowing off steam. And the con decides to give us use of hospitality room to do the beer share. There is a Facebook group, by the way. If you're part of the Facebook group, you get to see photos of these things. So we had it in there. We're going through, we're having a blast. At some point, one of us decides to put out a tip jar. Paul and I are pouring.
Was it not a brown paper bag?
It was.
It wasn't a jar.
Tip jar.
Right.
Which was supposed to be just for what? You and him to go out and have a steak dinner at some point, wasn't that?
So
the joke?
I didn't think we were even going to get that. No. So I put out a bag, and I think he put like a $5 or $10 bill over the lip of it. You gas it,
Yes.
right? So people know. In my head, I thought hot dogs at 2 a.m. or something like whatever.
Skyline across the street. Woohoo!
Exact, just like some kind of snack. I was hungry. Let's be honest. That's where this all started. Joe was hungry. Big surprise. So we put that out, and by the end of the night, we end up with like 300 something. And we're looking at this money. I didn't even know how much it actually was. And we're looking at this money. It's like, okay, we are massive jerks if we take all this money for ourselves, because that's not what we're there to do. That's not
right.
what we were just pouring beer with our friends and having a good time. This is silly. So we decided to donate it. And in the interim between cons, as happens, talked a little back and forth, and it was like, could we actually do this as a fundraiser? Could we actually make money and then donate it out? And it was originally, the plan was to do a couple of different charities, but it was kind of clear to us that the scholarship fund could use it. And what better way to give back to I've been a recipient of the scholarship in the past. Many of us have. So what better way to give back than to fund that? And so we come back the next year and with pretty low expectations and just blow our expectations out of the water. And then last year, I'm like, there's no way we're reaching that number. And then we destroy that number again. So exponentially, do not expect what it would be this year. Like we're buying the network a new car. Like that's exponentially where it should go. No, not gonna happen. But so what it turned into, and roughly what it is now. So for 3 nights, not 1, not 2, but yes, 3.
Not 4.
I almost said not 3, not 4. There you go.
4 is right out.
The holy hand grenade, right? You throw it. Not
You
a 1,
got
not
it.
a 2, not a 4, 3. So 3 nights. We get together, and the beer is provided. So that's the big thing, is you can bring beer to share if you want, but it is not a requirement. There is no financial requirement to be there. It is open to anybody who is attending the conference. A financial barrier has always been a big thing for us, not to have a financial barrier, because it never has been. Even when it was just in somebody's room and 5 or 6 guys, like, oh, I couldn't bring anything this year. Well, here, sip.
Yeah.
There's plenty here.
It's
more than
sharing. And it's sharing. It's sharing the beer, the taste of it, the craftsmanship of it. It's that share is the big part of it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, if you're looking for a place to go hog wild, this ain't it.
Yeah.
It is a chill spot to have a really good time with a lot of great dads, meet new people, run into friends. Um, and yeah, so we have somebody that pours, and we'll be doling out pours. We have souvenir cups that you can purchase, but again, don't have to. We have raffle items. We have live auction stuff we
Which
do.
are you doing? Are you doing the thing this year again where just for showing up you get a raffle ticket?
Yeah. So
That's
just for
cool.
showing up, you get a raffle ticket and you get a chance. But then we also have silent auction off to the side. Paul and I will be screaming out live auction stuff. Um, and yeah, it's a fun way to spend the nights, and you can come and go as you please. It's not like you're expected for it's for 3 hours a night, so it's not like you're just expected to. There's a it's 9 hours over 3 nights,
Yeah.
so we have a lot of people coming and going.
But it's just a great place to just come lounge. Like a lot of times, like you were saying, like you have like a taster cup. I know that I remember uh what was it? It was Eric Schorberg in Cincinnati was literally walking around like after like the people at the bar that came up or whatever would get something like he would make sure like certain people that maybe they were just like sitting having a conversation, he'd almost like eye them, be like, oh, their glass is empty. Like, hey, do you want to try this before it goes away? And I love that he was like cocktail serving like the room and things like that. And
Right.
just all that kind of aspect to it as well. And yeah, it's so neat to see all that this year too. It's like in a bigger location because it's
That'll be interesting. That'll be
yeah.
interesting because we've always worked with a really tight spot. So a bigger location will be interesting. Also, we've got a bunch of whiskey donations. So this year there'll be a ton more whiskey available and raffled.
That doesn't make
So
me sad at all.
I didn't think so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the everybody's pretty excited about that part.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, what else is different about this year? I mean, it's always, kind of ebbing and flowing with stuff. So there's always things that pop up. We have our core like committee, but then we have a bunch of volunteers this year helping out
So
because
explain a little bit about what the committee does and what the volunteers are doing. Like I know you
oh
mentioned
yeah,
that you've got connections and things like that, but you know, these other individuals who are involved, like what are they because you guys are spread out all over the country. So
yeah, oh yeah, just like the network, we are very similar in makeup as the network. We're all over the place and in different parts of data life. So that makes meetings really interesting. Uh, but you know, between cons, it's a lot of prep, figuring out who's going to be there, who's going to be able to do what. Um, we've got somebody doing the money because I'm not great at that, so I'm not touching it. Um, and then a lot of procuring. So there's a lot of outreach in between. And like we don't want it all coming from the Pacific Northwest, and it ain't going to. So
right.
we got guys driving around. Like I did a pickup yesterday during my lunch break. So those pickups have started out here, but we got folks in Minnesota picking up stuff. We got folks all over the place picking up stuff. Um, and really, it's just all of us. It's a lot of prepping and figuring out who can do what in the interim. We have so going live next week is our pre-sale online auction,
When does that start? What day?
15th.
Okay. Well, that
So
kind of will coincide then when this actually goes live. So,
beautiful. And it'll be up for 2 weeks or a week and a half.
okay.
Um, but so we've got everybody running like crazy, especially Paul. He's putting up the website this year for it. Um, and yeah, it's usually a mad dash of like who can do what, when, where.
Okay.
During the con. So during the con, the faces you'll see and the voices you'll hear the most are Paul and I.
Mhm.
Any kind of auction during the con, any kind of things like that, it'll probably be one or two of us screaming at the crowd. Um, and then we've got people specific for so the committee, we take the lead on the smaller specifics. So like somebody needs to be leading on the pouring, we've got people at the door, we've got somebody watching all of the silent auction, like. And then what we've done this year that's different, because usually we just do that and then one or two people also jump in and help, like David Rogers every single friggin' year.
Mhm.
He's included somehow every single year. God bless him. Um, and so what the volunteers end up doing this year is they're going to be in those additional roles to give breaks.
That's
Mhm.
cool.
Um,
Yeah.
except for Rogers, like he's leading the pouring. Like one of the
Yeah.
things I
Yeah.
love about him is he knows so much and he's so passionate about it
Mhm.
that he's one of the few people I can give that to and just
Yeah.
fully walk away. Like I
That's
don't have
great.
to say another word.
Yep.
So
So for
He's the
yeah.
man.
so for new guys that are coming, I mean, do they, I mean, not that they have to, but if they want to bring something, like, is it really necessary, or are you gonna already have like a ton of beer there?
Oh, we'll have a ton. I mean that it's the beer share. We will
Sure.
have a ton. And I always tell everybody, like you don't like if you're not checking a bag, you don't need to now check a bag to bring beer so you can participate.
Yeah.
Like because I've had a couple messages where it's like, hey, how much? What's the minimum? Da da da, all this stuff. I'm like, no minimum, no
Yeah.
nothing.
And
Like
that's what I
walk
wanted to get.
in.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to kind of make sure got
Mhm.
highlighted in that
And
as well too.
what I was trying to remember another thing and it finally popped in my head. The other thing too is we've got NA. We've got a bunch of NA that comes through. So
Yeah,
if
non-alcoholic
it,
for anybody who doesn't know what
yeah.
NA means. So
So if you're sober and being around alcohol doesn't trigger you, I know it triggers some folks, so understandable. But if you're sober and it doesn't trigger you to be around people drinking, we got NA for you too. Everyone is welcome.
and they're delicious.
Um, well, yeah, I get some stuff sent from Three Magnets Brewing out here in Olympia, Washington, that is just fire. It is amazing. You
Mhm.
Yeah.
may, just because I'm a pot stirrer and I like to see reactions, you may see me, that means you will see me with one of those at breakfast walking
Oh yeah.
around
Oh yeah.
and then start pouring for people. I'll bring cups and start pouring
I
Yeah.
love
just
it
to
because you
see the
always you
looks.
always turn the staff's eyes on us in the morning, and it's like I don't want anybody watching me while I'm eating, and then you come over, you're like, "Hey,
I'm
would
not
you like a pour
awake
of
yet.
this?" Yeah, and the staff's
Hey,
like, "What is
try
this?
this.
What's this hooligan up to?" Like
I
walking
think I
around
did
pouring
that.
beer.
I think they did that to Danny 2 years ago
Yeah. That's
without
where I had.
saying what it was. He's like, dude, it is way too early for this.
Yeah, I was not ready at all. Yeah, but it was good. It was good.
Yep.
Like,
Juicy.
it's NA, brother.
So
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was looking at our kind of sheets and totals on things for the scholarship. I wanted to point out that based off of last year's giving and everything, like we were able to grant 10 scholarships for this year, which is really cool. Um, and that included even like covering some flights for a few guys to get there and things like that. So um, for everybody that was involved in it last year that helped out, like just a huge thanks for that,
yep.
because it's those kind of things that help out. I mean, there's a very small amount that gets sectioned out when you buy a ticket that goes into it. If you buy a dads don't babysit t-shirt, there's some money that goes into the fund for that, but really like the biggest chunk of this comes from the beer share, and it's just been huge to see that and how that's transpired.
Well, and while we're doing thanks, um, the the brewers and breweries that donate and help us out to do all this. If I've got one, like, committee members, we appreciate the thanks that, attendees give us, and we love to talk about it. But for me, the thanks goes to those who are donating all of this. So if you sip on something and you're like, this is awesome, tag the heck out of it. Like, take a picture, tag the brewery, tag the brewer if you can get that name out of me, tag Home Dad like, tag it up, because like some of these guys, this is their third year
Yeah.
donating.
Nice.
Some of the guys I got, it's their third year donating. And when I start I strategically try and start my asks, because if it's too early, they're like, dude, I'm an independent brewer. I don't look at this until
Right.
a month before.
Yeah,
And then
you're
if
way
it's
ahead of me.
right, and then if it's too late, they're like, I'm out. So when I started about 2 months ago, reaching out again, it's like, yeah, I know it's me. Guess what? We're doing it again. And those
Hello,
brewers,
it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. We need beer.
yeah, yeah. What do you got for me? And by the way, it's going to a national place, so a lot of these guys will never walk into your spot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's hyper local. Some of these brewers, man, they're just immediate. Love what you guys do here. Like, how can I help? And so for me, making sure they get the tags, making sure they get the appreciation. They're like, no, we see what you're doing, and we appreciate that you're willing to help.
I will say though, the one thing that is kind of been cool was, and I think especially in Phoenix, this was done, where there were local breweries out there. There were a couple, maybe it was one or two, I can't remember, but that we actually got to go visit and really
Yeah.
enjoy their establishment and just kind of be like, hey, like, we're the guys that you donated this beer to, and like these are the guys that got to come because of last year's type of thing. And I think that same thing happened in Milwaukee too,
Mhm.
with some different places. And so I know that there's the brewery hop that's taking place, and we're going to some places, and I think even some of those places are. And that's the other cool. It's just so neat to be able to go in and really have that face to face, and for them to be like,
Yeah.
oh wow, like there really are this many dads who are being a part of this, and they're like, they can actually tangibly talk to scholarship recipients as well, and hear some of
Right.
their stories, which I think is just another huge aspect of the participation involved.
Right. Now we're
Phoenix was.
we're
Oh,
coming up
sorry.
on our time.
Oh,
So I just want to say we did tout before in our intro that this would be about photography.
yeah, yeah. So
We
let
talk
me.
about that as well. So I do want to at least take our last 5 minutes or so and jump off the beer train
I
and
just
talk
get
about
so
your
much on
breakout.
the beer share,
Yeah.
because beer share scholarship, help out, boom,
Yeah.
done. And also just show up. You don't need to, do anything else
Right.
if you just want to show up. So photography walk. This is the second time that I'm doing this as a breakout. First time was in Phoenix. It was super hot outside, which made it really difficult, but people still showed up and did it. And then I almost lost a GoPro because I put it on a pole with a magnet somewhere. I'll tell you about that if you're on the walk with me. That'll be a part of knowing your surroundings and being mindful.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it shouldn't be so hot because it's St. Louis, but
I'm
basically,
hoping.
we will push off, and I don't have the route yet. I'm putting that together, and then I'll solidify it a couple days before the con because I'll be there. But we literally go for a walk, and we go find cool stuff to take photos of, and then I teach some photo basics. Depending on who shows up, I can also teach some more advanced stuff. But I have taught classes where I've taught a college class where they, because it wasn't a required class, they couldn't require gear. So it was from cell phone camera using to high-end DSLR cameras. And I had to teach that for multiple weeks. So
Hmm.
Which is
so I
perfect,
can.
because that's kind of the scheme of what you have with guys coming to the convention, is everything from, oh yeah, like this is my opportunity to actually like use my DSLR without having to
Right.
also worry about what child is going to like try to like, you know, attempt getting as close to the edge of a cliff as possible while I take a picture of this tree.
In there. Uh, so yeah, so you know, the old saying, the best camera is the one that's on you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I work with. If it's, you know, if it's a cell phone, there's not a whole lot of things on settings to tweak, but we work with angles. We work with, you know, getting that cool shot. Talk about portraits while we're out. I'll usually single out somebody that's more than willing to get a bunch of portraits taken of them, and just it's a fun walk to go out. It's nice during the con to have that time to stretch your legs too and kind of get some fresh air. And also, from what I heard, I mean, you know, St. Louis, their baseball sucks, but their murals are supposed to be beautiful. And so, you know, we'll find some really nice stuff to get out there and take pictures of. And also, so for both of the things, for the beer share and for the photography walk, there are Facebook groups. There are Facebook groups. And so if you go into Facebook and you look for 2024 beer share or 2024 photo walk, those will pop up.
Awesome.
And I'm interacting on both of them. Love to have any questions come in early. Plan on having a handout or two with just some basics. And yeah, really have a fun time out there with some photography.
Sweet.
Definitely.
Hey, last
I
5 minutes, got it in. Nice. Good job.
I know he got it all in, definitely.
There you go.
Woo! Well, definitely looking forward to it. The photo walk is always fun. I mean, there's the Thursday photo walk that usually takes place as well, which I know that's not. I don't think you're doing that one. You just have the breakout. But still, like it's fun to just being able to walk around in a city and find things. I mean, everything from sculptures to statues to murals. There's so much, and of course, too, like the city museum, which we're going to be having a convention eve at this year, is another just wild and crazy place for photos for sure. So lots of definitely abstract angles for shots. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to capturing. But uh, this has been great. I think that hope my hope is that some of the new guys that are listening to this, that they got a better understanding of what your breakout session is going to be like, what beer share is going to be, and they feel that much more comfortable coming. And especially just anybody who's like, I don't know if I wanted to do that the year prior, like this will give them that time. So definitely excited about that. So yeah, and then for anybody who's listening to this now, when this actually is live, it'll be just after the 15th. So I'll have a link for going to the website for the auction, so that you can see what is there, and hopefully, that's something that intrigues you. And then I'll have links for the two groups that you started on Facebook. So thanks for coming on the
Awesome.
show, Joe. It's been great talking to you, man.
Always. I think we might have sun, so I'm gonna get out of the garage and go say good morning to the world.
Go team up with the wife to get the kid out the door.
Yep.
A little late. Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.